Coming to the health aspect, because you have, I think, one of the publication which is regarding to the heart attacks. So for that, early, like these days, we come in the news, we see, at a heart attack at a much younger age. So can this studies, genetic studies, help to identify that this person is predisposed to having a heart attacks with the mutation studies?
Yeah, not only heart attack,
Right.
any disease can be predicted, but one only issue is that not all the mutation which if have is going to cause the disease. If it is a single gene disorders, you know that if there is a mutation going to lead to the disease.
Correct.
Whereas the disease which are caused by multiple genes, multiple mutations, you can really predict because there could be something else which might suppress. Therefore, there's no disease, right? But it would actually help in condition where there's a well proved mutation and an individual, wherever there's a mutation, 100% is going to cause the disease. In that scenario, some of the diseases, including the cardiomyopathy, can be delayed. That's what when we discuss with our clinical collaborators.
Yeah.
They say that you have the mutation because the cardiac phenotype, particularly hypertrophy or dilation, will happen after maybe 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, something like that, based on the type of mutation.
Correct. Right.
But when you look at very early age, for example, you sequence, there's a family, either father or mother, as cardiomyopathy, diagnosed at the age of 45 or 50. Right. Now that mutation is in the child who is only 20, for example. Then you predict that the child, a son or daughter, going to have the disease up to 40 years. Right? But if you start treatment at very early age, as soon as you found that mutation, 20 years.
Right. I did a lot of buffer time to
Correct. If you start treatment, then you can delay the phenotype. Therefore, the individual will not have the disease. But even 10 years if you delay, yes, instead of 40 years, the person will get 50 years only get the disease. Or if you keep treating, you may even delay further. Right. So that kind of advantage is it come from the genetic studies.
Right, right. So not only the gene, sir, if there is a mutation, how can it treat it? Like on a clinical perspective,
There are
looking of.
multiple way of looking at. One, in broadly, if you look at genetic mutations, you cannot actually cure fully unless otherwise you do gene editing or scaling, which is not very common in India, but although there was successful, including cardiomyopathy. Okay. One can do that. But prevention is also equally important.
Yeah.
Preventing the phenotype.
Right.
Okay. There are many diseases can be controlled by treatment. Sure, particularly for mitochondrial diseases. So, based on what kind of amino acid is being abnormal when the particular mutation is there. So, that the clinician treat with that. Similarly, Q coenzyme Q10 is used for treating some other mitochondrial disease. Okay, all right. So those will help to certain condition, not always.
Always, yeah. In general, sir, I'll try to if I make it very simple, because my idea is science should be for everybody.
Correct.
So in that way, if I have a gene and in that I take out there is a mutation which I've identified, which is you're saying as a marker for a disease which is cardiomyopathy.
Correct.
And that because of this mutation, the sequence is changed,
Correct.
right? ATGC sequence has changed.
Yeah.
And because of the sequence, the protein which is being formed, that is also getting changed.
Correct.
And that protein is creating a problem. So grossly, I'm telling it in a very layman's language.
Sure.
So if I identify this chain, then I can know the pathway and then I can try to treat it. That is what you mean to say, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, okay. But like impact on cardiomyopathy is one. But again, I think you also worked on male infertility, osteoarthritis. There are a lot of other diseases can also be treated like this process.
Yeah. In general, genetic disease is very difficult to treat, right? For example, in the infertility, somebody is azoospermic. We can't really help because there's no sperm at all in the ejaculate. So what people do again use the available technology
Correct.
to aspirate and take out the germ cells and use uh, ICSI technique. Correct. Correct. To fertilize. So that way people use it. But the treatment part is something very.
Yeah, I think that goes to the clinical side also. That is even not your
Yeah.
area to work.
Correct.